Hello and welcome to this video where I'll talk about games that involve climbing, dodging, running, dashing, exploding, and most of all, epic wall jumping. People love getting more powerful, and more so love getting carrots on sticks. These 10 Metroidvania games are what I consider to be the best in the business, so let's just count them down.
Number 10.
Chasm is still in development, and due to the dodgy behavior the dev team has been culprit of, it will not rank higher on this list. The game's hype train rode strong for nearly a year after its success on Kickstarter, but died down once the people realized it was far from the release date. I played both the early alpha to test it for them, and the last patch before locking it up, and let me tell you, I love this game. I cannot wait for its full form to release, but sadly due to its invisible borders, I cannot place it any higher.
Number 9.
Axiom Verge is a game I only recently played through here on the channel, and I fell for its Metroid style and charm instantly. The game's story was slowly paced, but not slow enough to forget about it. Truly a Metroidvania, as the map even closes you off into a specific area early on in the game. The music is also great, and the design is cool and science fiction based, which is awesome to run around in. But if you don't enjoy tons of backtracking, you may want to pass on this one.
Number 8.
Guacamelee is like what would happen if the internet, Nacho Libre, and Castlevania had a baby. The result is an over-the-top thrill ride of humor, internet references with a Latin touch of course, game references, action platforming, and fantastic Latin-influenced music. It's satisfying being essentially a luchador Belmont and wrestling every bad guy to the ground, and the level design is top-notch as well.
Number 7.
Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet is so unknown compared to the rest of these games, but it's just as good. It takes the Metroidvania platform genre and gets rid of the platforming, instead relying on you and your ever-evolving spaceship. The art style, as you'll no doubt tell, is very important on this list, is bleak and a bit caustic. It is alien to look at with contrasts of sharp and smooth, light and dark, cramped and open. The game treats the player like a player and tasks them with the privilege of discovery. The very essence of what makes this genre so great.
Number 6.
Shadow Complex is everything I just said about Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, except backwards. Shadow Complex is another little title I picked up back when the XBLA meant a damn thing. It's your generic man has to save woman from bad guys trope, but dressed as a fantastic exploration-based Metroidvania game. Need explosives to access that hatch? Well, you better go find some. They might be down that corridor you walked past an hour ago, although the game truly wins because it has the best alternative ending ever. Start a game, get through the cutscene, and just leave. It's worth it every time.
Number 5.
Ori and the Blind Forest is the most enchanting game I've played since I launched Rune Factory Frontiers for the first time. The game is, by a large leap, the prettiest game I've ever played. I say that with no regret. Ori is the most gorgeous game I've ever played. But looks aren't everything, Penta! I know, and so the gameplay needs to pick up just as well, and it does. The movement is a delight. I never felt lost or stuck, and the controls are right behind Super Meat Boy in tightness and how well they are tuned to the motions. And that leads to so much frustration. You see, people are used to games that have a slight handicap on controls. Not this game. It does what you say, and when you die, it's your own fault. Also, if you haven't been spoiled already, play the first 15 minutes of the experience. It's one hell of an emotional roller coaster, and I highly recommend it.
Number 4.
La Mulana! Say goodbye to your happiness. Give it a kiss, a cookie, and a ticket to the bus to Calgary. It's leaving for a while. Dark Souls and Super Meat Boy are the hardest games ever, yells the common gamer community. Those games aren't even hard. They're just a challenge and have a high skill ceiling. There's a difference. La Mulana is hard. Spitfire, grab a charcoal peg, put gasoline on your bits and pieces hard. This game tasks you to remember, analyze, note, and guess to your greatest abilities. To complete even the most simple and mundane puzzle. Is it satisfying? Oh god, yes. This game is simply addicting just to figure out why Wedget wants you to require your patience. And other stupid-ass tricky puzzles. Some parts our insanity-drenched button clicking, but all the way through, it is one of the finest games I've ever played.
Number 3.
Tell y'all a story about a cave, story about a robot rolling with a whole lot of bravery, meets bunny people in the cave, the doctor's got a whim to put the people into slavery. Sorry guys, but Cave Story Plus, I'm sorry Brento Floss, I just had to rip that off a little bit. I love this game, I love its music, I love the experience mechanic, the whole dark side of the story. Yeah, it's not lighthearted in a bit. This game is what I refer to as a golden platformer, and that's not an easy title to get. In fact, very few have from me. The above-mentioned Super Meat Boy was one of the first to be called it. Cave Story sees you as, quote, and you are a robot trying to save bunny folks from an evil force, or doctor. How does one do such a thing? By exploring and leveling up guns and beating bad guys like most other games. However, be careful because getting hurt loses experience. Yep. You can lose levels by playing poorly. Such good game design, and let's not spoil all the hidden little nuances and secrets in the game, especially that adorable little dev hideout. Well, and this guy.
Number 2.
The moment has come. You knew it was going to be on here. You knew it was going to be on here. The question is, which one? Which one of these wonderful titles is going to be the number 2 Metroidvania game on Pentahybrid's top 10 list? Oh my god! Well, if you have to ask yourself that question, good on you because the series is fantastic, but you knew it was going to be Symphony of the fucking Night. Symphony of the Night is a classic, and it is one of the best Castlevania games for me, and it is the best Castlevania for me, rather. I accept that people like other games more, but for me, this was it. This was the peak of the franchise. Thoughtful puzzles, great combat, fun and evocative exploration, and a great twist at the end. Middle? Alucard may never be as loved as Simon Belmont, and understandably so. But Alucard does have the superior game. Originally, this game was a PS1 title, and the game was an oddity because Castlevania was a Nintendo property. But it was released on numerous platforms later on, so you have no excuse not to be playing it.
And number 1.
I told myself, when starting this channel, and creating Listitis and what it is, that if I were to ever feature a single game in the top spot on 3 different lists, then I would have to make a separate video on that game. Now, I do believe in promises, but I don't believe in plans. So for right now, let's just talk about Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime isn't your traditional Metroidvania game. It's not a 2D platformer, which is what most people think of when they hear Metroidvania. And to be fair, it's a large majority of the genre. But what Metroid Prime did was it took the genre into a much more open style. You still progress to new areas by unlocking upgrades and learning new abilities. You still see things just out of your reach that you can't quite get. And there are still amazing boss fights. The world of Talon 4 is fantastic and has enthralling areas to explore. The music is fantastic and just thrums in your ears as you're playing, and the enemies are clever as hell, and I'm looking at you, Chozo Ghost and Derelict Space Pirates. I cannot glow enough about this game. It is one of the finest gaming experiences I've ever had. And graphically, it still looks amazing to this day. Well, thank you so much for watching my video. Remember to let me know your favorite Metroidvania games down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not give it a like? And if you enjoyed me, why not subscribe today and join the ever-growing hybrid? Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next area. Just get the abilities to reach there. Quick, the grappling hook! It's right there!